a sheriff. All these cases involve 30 cops.
So the brother said that, all these cases, all these truck drivers coming up missing, coming up unalive, you see, hanging from ropes, you see, and they all say it was a suicide. The brother said, you know, all these cases are involved police or the sheriff. It's not rocket science. I've been saying that. It's not rocket science. You truckers, you know, you got a load going to Crackerville, Alabama. You see, your load you supposed to drop off at 5 o'clock in the morning. You decide I'm gonna get there at two a.m. I'm gonna park at this truck stop. I'm gonna park on the side of the road or whatever. You know, you in Crackerville, Alabama, 2 a.m. in the morning. Next thing you get a knock on the window. You see, and it's a Klan member. The brother said, "Don't pull over for no cops. Don't pull over. That's common sense. Don't pull over. Keep going. Keep going to the next town. You see, once you get out your truck and he got you in handcuffs, then he called all his little cronies. You see, he called the rest of the Klan members. You know, Bob, I got another one. You know, y'all come down here. Bring a rope. You see, we got to stop thinking that we can trust everybody, that got a badge. See, we can't trust everybody that got a badge. When I say we, I mean you blacks and Hispanics. We cannot trust you because you got a badge on. You know, if you got to keep driving till you get, you know, where there's a public eye, you know. But like I said, if you in Crackerville, Alabama, everybody in that town know what's up. They not gonna have your back. They not gonna film it. They not gonna tell who did it. You see, and you got to carry. You got to carry. I don't care what your company say. Their policy is. You got to carry. You see. So what if you get fired? But you got to have something on you. You see. If he's telling you, he's acting funny. He's telling you get out the truck. You know. Then you know something's up. Do your research. What town are you going to? Where's this load going to? Is it going to Crackerville, Alabama? Look at the population. Look at the demographics. Don't deliver to these redneck towns anymore. Let them figure it out how they gonna get their supplies. You know, we got to start being smarter. You see, we can't be sheep led to the slaughter. You know, we gotta use our brain. Christ said, "I send you out as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove." You see, we got to use our brain. This stuff has been going on for centuries in this country because we trust. We trust. We believe. John 3:16. For God so loved the world, but that stuff in real life is not working. It's not working. We cannot trust our enemies. The Bible says, "Do not trust your enemies." You see, do not trust them. If by any means possible, do not deliver to that town. Tell your dispatch, "I cannot deliver to this town." You know, if the population don't look right, there's different websites you can go to. Where's my sundown towns at? You see? Where's my sundown towns at? And it tells you in the Bible that his people, God's chosen people, will have to do these things. We're the only ones that have to go to a website, to see if I can drop this load off here. What's the demographics of this city? Is it mostly white? Is there any black people living there? We're the only ones that have to do these things to survive in America. You see, in 2025, this stuff is still happening. So for all my brothers that's driving trucks from point A to point B, don't be uh uh don't be stupid. You know, look at the news. Look at what's going on. Beware of your surroundings. Make sure you have protection when you go.